Good turnout.
We are going to see if they have a microphone for us. Don't know if it's going to work.
Thank you all for being here. This is awesome.
We actually had
I need to get to where we are getting beer. Chapter 10.
Oh, my friend and I, we looked up some so that we could just like do a podcast. One of the ones we found was Olaf and Sven.
I've been impaled. You are a filthy sinner, and I don't know you.
One was Buff Ariel. What? It was Ariel, but she was a bodybuilder. Why?
Sorry, no, I've actually come across something on
Oh, and the cars tend to work.
and it was Sven and Olaf.
Cars. They're not even anthropomorphic, they're just cars.
I've been
This is a sad war drama romance about two members in cars.
Have you ever found the one
Aaron
exists in the car?
No, but I'm going to.
Yes.
My immortal, everybody?
I have actually
Alright, there we go.
I have not read it yet, but I need to.
I started to cry tears of blood down my challenge face. No, my favorite one is, I may be a Hogwarts student, but I'm also a Satanist. That's a quote by Hagrid. My dad. Yeah, you were. Hagrid, your dad. Oh, and then, let's see. There was one that was, just like the open list. But my name is Ben. And I got to look at ebony black hair. That's how I got my name. With red streaks and purple tips. And people tell me I look like Amy Lee. Authors know what you're doing. Get the hell out of here.
I mean, this is a small meeting, but my voice carries pretty well.
Oh, that's what my video was, actually.
I'm going to try.
I'm not.
I think you're like half an hour ago.
I was reading Emergence.
What is wrong?
Damien's reading Emergence.
I did this at first square with no microphone, which is fine, although
I'm a pretty soft-spoken guy.
the audience.
I believe in you.
He's broken me.
I don't want to let it go too long.
If I start like sobbing in the
We got
1 4 minutes. 3 G.
I literally told you the whole thing, and you're gonna
Are you decoy
the whole thing was you much asked.
Okay, can you please spell?
This is straight here.
This is what happened. I'm telling you this, so you will push the button. You know what I did?
Push that. Push the button. You push that button. Why?
What? Do that.
The hat for charity.
Okay, so my wife.
Yeah, I have no service.
I'm going to let you read and figure out what you're going to do. Just direct me. I am able. I take the voices, but I read confidently.
But it's really
So, you want me to?
Where? Out here.
We'll see how it goes.
Kick off just so you can have a
away. They just like apparate to Spain for 10 minutes and just return. And they're just like, look, we brought salsa. And we're like,
That's another way I know I'm at a furry convention is the constant, almost subliminal oons in the background.
they hang off the rope.
Alright, we'll be starting in about 5 minutes, so. You're a county program with 4 words, but nevertheless.
You should not drink the water. I'm on the Mendez, that's where
Is that where you
that's where it came from.
when's that? Okay, so we might get some.
We might have to.
Bring on.
Good, excellent.
I got it.
Well, they just make some stupid like,
I did. I'll probably just stick to the description. dangerous enough.
It is, yeah. And that's like once a quarter.
Oh, you drink all my water.
I started.
Oh, I'm gonna go fill this up with water.
But I got some.
No, why do you feel like that?
She's gonna have Geiger.
Oh, God.
But does it actually have a name? Oh, wait, no, you were right there. I just
No, wait a minute.
oh, you already did this, Tim.
Yeah, we did this. We want chapter 11.
But those hats.
That baby is SPS.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
How rude! You used to do that at me.
No microphone for him, so I guess we're gonna start microphone for him.
No microphone, so I guess we're just going to have to reject to the back row.
We are.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Bad FanFic Theater. My first question is, what are you doing here? There's so many more better panels you could attend.
No.
Thank you very much for choosing us.
We're very pleased to have people here.
It's very wonderful. My name is Ernor, and joining me here is my friend Zeigler. He runs Bad FanFic Theater at First Squared. He was going to join me at this panel last year, but unfortunately, some family issues, namely a wedding, kept him away.
How
dare you get married?
Issues. Ew, nuptials. Yuck. Ew, commitment. So disgusting. So, by show of hands, how many of you guys were here last year for this panel?
Ooh.
Wow.
Interesting. Okay.
So you guys are gonna jump right into the deep end. We're all out of pool floaties. So the story we're gonna be reading for you is called Sonic High School. It is as bad as the title.
It is much worse than the title sounds.
As bad as you guys think it is,
It's
going
worse.
to be worse. So to give you guys a quick and very lazy, very shitty summary of the previous 10 chapters. Blah, 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 plot. Sonic has a ball disease. Blah, blah, blah. Knuckles was once a teenager, but now he's a baby because he got into a fight with Espio. They did an Einstein body transformation donation, which means Knuckles is now a baby. Rouge is a mother, and Tails is pissed at Sonic for some reason that I can't remember, and who gives a shit? Nobody cares anyway.
Yep.
So, we're going to start off with Chapter 10.
11.
We're off to a good start. Chapter 11, Tails and Cream. Warning. Contains another shit sex scene, including the part that would theoretically rip a guy's dick off. Sonic High School, Chapter 11. That baby is Espio's, said Tails. Tails, being smart, was right. Knuckles had done an Einstein body donation and become Espio and Rouge's baby, but was still Knuckles? Rouge picked the baby up and held him in her other arm because her baby with Knuckles, before he became baby, was in her other arm. Now you have two babies to look after, said Tails. Good luck. Sonic was on the other side of the hall and wished that Tails was talking to him. But Tails was still mad at him, so he was not. Rouge grabbed her two babies and had them both eat from her terrific booze. She smiled and felt like a mother, and Sonic thought. Sonic said what he was thinking and said, "Rouge, you should name your babies. It will be hard to tell them apart if you do not." Rouge thought about this thought and thought that it was good. Rouge went over to Espio, who was sitting on the ground, looking bad and tired from fighting Knuckles before he became Espio's baby.
Hey, SPO, what should we name our baby that looks like you?
Said Rouge to SBO. Sorry, guys, I couldn't take a break.
It is still Knuckles, according to Tails, so we should keep his name Knuckles, said SBO to Rouge. Okay, said Rouge, and I will name my baby with Knuckles before he became a baby, Knuckles Jr., because I had him with Knuckles before he became a baby, and he looks like Knuckles before he became a baby. Rouge was happy, and walked out of the hall, and then out of the school, like a bat. And then SPO did the same thing, but in a way that was like a chameleon would instead.
There is one thing that everyone is forgetting, said Sonic. Charmy B is still locked up at Knuckles' house. I will go rescue him.
Sonic ran out of the school and to Knuckles' house. Sonic ran into Knuckles' mom on the way home to his room in his house.
Knuckles' mom, said Sonic, some things have happened, and Knuckles looks different. It will be okay. You will understand soon enough. Please, do not worry.
Sonic said this in such a way that Knuckles' mom smiled and kept cooking in the kitchen. Sonic was not just fast, but also very good at relieving people. Sonic also noticed that Knuckles' mom was kind of hot, with solid boobs that she had developed for decades. Sonic went upstairs to Knuckles' room, which was painted all red, just like Knuckles before he became a baby. There was a cage in the corner of the room, and Charmy B was in it. Sonic unlocked the cage with the key on Knuckles' desk and opened the cage.
Come on out, Charmy B, said Sonic. You are rescued.
Charmy walked out instead of flying out, like he always does instead. Thanks, Sonic. I am going home to prepare for my role in the play that is soon. I am the lead role. Sonic forgot about the play because the play was the gayest thing in the school. But it was going to happen even if no one went to watch it. The next day of school happened, and Tails was in class with Cream. It was a very difficult science class because Tails was the smartest person in the school, and he only took the hardest classes. Giggity. Cream was in the class because she wanted to be mentally challenged. We have a test in this class tomorrow, said Tails to Cream. It is going to be really hard, and I have to study for it to make sure I get a good grade. Tails always got good grades, but studied anyway. Tails looked at Cream, who was there. Me too, said Cream to Tails. I have an idea. Why don't you come over to my house tonight and we can study? Studying with you will help me get a better grade. I just know it. This idea was the best thing ever to Tails. Tails secretly had a crush on Cream and wanted to feel the body of his sexy friend always. Even though she was Charmy B's girlfriend. Cream was a different kind of sexy that was only really sexy to some people, but Tails was one of them. Okay, said Tails, sounding more excited than he wanted to. I will come to your house tonight. Tails was very smart, but he was not the best at getting with teenage women. So, parts of life like this were a challenge to Tails.
It was now this evening, and Tails was getting ready to go to Cream's house. Tails was excited to get closer to Cream, but he was also nervous that he might mess it up like a love emote. He thought about asking Sonic, but then remembered he is pissed at him. Then he thought about asking Espio, but Espio was at the hospital getting all of his wounds fixed from being in a fight with Knuckles before he became a baby. Tails wanted to seem like a sexy man to Cream, so he sprayed his dad's colon on himself and put Tails smelled good and looked good, and went to Cream's house by flight. I'm waiting for Tails, said Cream as she sat on her bed in her bedroom studying without Tails. Tails flew into the window. Hi, Cream. I'm at your house now, said Tails. Tails sat on her bed sort of next to her, but not too close to promote sex thoughts. Let's study, said Tails. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, before we study, you smell really good, Tails.
Cream put her face right up against Tails and smelled really hard, like the big bad wolf, before blowing a house down. Tails laughed all nervously and said, "Ow, do I really? Thank you. I always smell this way. I guess you just notice when you are home." Tails did a little wiggle on her bed and pushed her face and body away because he was nervous. "Please, let's study." Tails and Cream studied for the test for the next hour. And the whole time, Tails could only concentrate on one thing: his growing erection. Tails touched it sometimes while they were studying to make sure it stayed put, and Cream could not see it. But it was getting so big that it would pop out of place, like when the straw in your soda rises up, probably because of the bubbles, and you push it back down, but it just comes back up anyway, so you get iced tea instead. Tails was still the most nervous, but he decided that this was his chance. He would not get another chance as good as this if he did not take it now. Cream, I have to tell you something, screamed Tails to Cream, letting out all of his nervousness so he could be smooth, like a movie star.
Yes, it's important to scream smoothly
Yes.
when you're on a date.
You must scream, Cream, I have to tell you something!
What is it, Tails?
Smooth like a movie star.
Tell me all about it, said Cream back, looking hot.
Tails was not so nervous anymore. Tails said, "Cream, I've lusted after your rabbit genitals since day one. I think you were the hottest woman I have ever been to. And now you are Chami's girlfriend, but toss him aside and let my penis murder everything inside of you." Tails took out his penis. And he was so in love that his penis was literally screaming.
Actually,
Wow, said Cream. I did not know you felt this way, but I am glad you do, because Charming Bee is a total gay.
Cream reached over and grabbed Tails' penis and began to give it a good shake. She loved his boner with her hands and pulled him around the room by his penis like he was a wagon. To get him excited. Tails' penis was so big that it was about to burst like someone stepping on a tube of Colgate toothpaste. Tails could feel the semen bubbling up in his penis like Santa going back up the chimney when he was done, and the presents he had left down in the house were Tails' balls, which were already there, though. Cream was getting hot, too. She did not take off her clothes, but Tails could tell she also had an erection. But just then, when things were becoming like one of the porns that Sonic had in his room and his mom let him have, Cream stopped and said,
No, I cannot do this. Not while I am still boyfriend and girlfriend with Charmy. He may be a fag ass, but we are like in a relationship and I need to respect him. I will break up with him tomorrow and then we can do sex. Cream collected her things together. I think I'm ready for the test tomorrow. Thanks, Tails.
What studying do they do? She just grabbed his dick and drug him around.
Obviously, they were studying anatomy.
Well,
Keep up.
That's gonna be an interesting test, man.
Thankfully, it requires physical demonstrations.
All right. That's what happens at Sonic High School, everybody.
Oh, man, said Tails. Tails put his scrotum away and was sad about not getting to ejaculate his dick. Okay, so long as you promise me your sex. I promise, said Cream. And then Cream kissed Tails on the cheek. Tails thought it was cool and flew back home.
Do you want to do the narration voice swap thing?
Can I ask a question?
Yeah,
all right.
Okay, so we're gonna
try something. Yes.
So hang on, before we start this, before we start the next chapter, guys, we do have a charity component for the panel. I'm sorry, I needed a drink of liquid courage. If you guys would like to support the charity, please come up and put money in the hat. If you have a specific voice, I can do lots of voices, including Captain Kirk, Kermit the Frog. I can do a pretty good Russian voice. I can also do a passable alkali. If you have a specific voice you would like to request for a character and you have enough money, please come up here and put it in the hat.
Not asking about. What's up?
During the previous 10 chapters, did it establish that Cream had a penis?
No, she just had a lady erection.
Oh.
Yes, and by the way, every time erection is written, it says erection.
Yes. Erection.
Yes.
Erection.
Well, considering that the characters normally have like these that sort of Barbie doll crotches, I'm picturing that they have the ability to just sort of fold their genitals into their body and
Strategically placed holes.
Tails just sort of folded his balls back into his body, but he forgot that his cock was still
So
kicking
basically, they have access to what they call the Nintendo pouch, which is the thing you have to tuck all of your naughty bits into in order to have your game released on the Switch.
What's up?
Am I able to donate with gulps of alcohol?
Yeah, I
Sure,
guess.
I guess so.
Why not?
If you want to kill my liver, I guess that's
sure. I will take a
charity.
drink of suspiciously probably not V8, but it's V8 because we respect
It's
his
V8. Oh my god, it's so nutritious. Got vitamin C.
Oh my god, look at it. You got it.
Oh, I love that strawberry banana healthiness.
It's so good. It is good for my muscles.
Right. So we're going to do a little swap now. I'm going to read all the narration. Ernor here is going to do all of the voices.
Yes.
Okay.
And we're going to try that for a chapter or two. We're experimenting with different things. We're going to find out what works best. Would you read, I don't have the intros to each chapter, so would you read the intro to chapter 12, please?
Actually, there isn't one.
There is no intro to chapter 12.
We don't need one. We know everything we already need to know.
Welcome to chapter 12 of Sonic High School, where we left off. Cream dragged Tails around the room by his dick and then left him with blue balls because she didn't want to cheat on Charmy. All right.
Chapters.
Yes, well, but I think Cream is a classy woman. You know, she'll drag some random dude around by his dick, but not going to cheat on her boyfriend. That's not cheating.
Also, Cream is boyfriend and girlfriend with Charmy.
With girlfriend, but Charmy is a gay fag. So. It is well established through the course of the previous 10 chapters that Charmy is a gay fag. In fact, it's almost impossible to mention Charmy without pointing out that he's a gay fag.
Well, the angle I was going to go for is when she said she was boyfriend and girlfriend, it's like Charmy doesn't really exist. Like, he was just an alternate personality of hers or something.
All right. Here we go. Chapter 12. It was a new day, and Sonic woke up from out of his bed and scratched his balls. He could feel the rash on his balls, and it was getting worse than before.
Okay, so I'm going to give you guys a chance. This is where the audience participation portion of the panel comes in. I have a variety of different voices. I can keep doing with my Sonic voice, or I can resurrect the voice I used last year, which was,
Oh, the sickness still ravages my balls.
All I want to hear is Charmy with a Russian voice.
Charmy gets the Russian voice.
no, Knuckles gets the Russian voice.
Knuckles is a communist.
He's great, he's a communist.
Okay.
I don't know. I feel like the voice you're already using sounds enough with like Jaleel White with a concussion.
All right. Fair enough. The audience has spoken.
The audience has spoken.
You take everything.
Okay, I'm okay with this.
Yeah, the sickness still ravages my bowels,
said Sonic as he wrote it in his journal that he now had back from Tails when he took it from school after Sonic had given it away to Miss Lesson. Sonic was done complaining about his balls and went to school. In history class, he talked to Amy.
Hey, Amy,
said Sonic to Amy.
Hi, Sonic,
said Amy and kissed him hotly like a girlfriend.
What is that?
said Sonic to Amy.
Oh, it is awful. I have bad news,
said Amy to Sonic.
That stinks. Do you want to have sex later?
said Sonic to Amy.
No thank you. Everything is so busy right now,
said Amy to Sonic.
My bad news is that I have to go to the play tonight for a class.
Wow, that is unfair,
said Sonic to Amu.
Misspelled on purpose.
Even the principal says the play is super gay. But I guess you have to go. Sorry!
The school play was so gay.
I wanted to know if you would come with me,
said Amy in a way to Sonic that sounded like she was trying to be attractive.
The place will be much better with someone else there.
That is the real bad news. I do not want to go near that play, but I will go so we can have sex later,
said Sonic back to Amy. Amy kissed Sonic, and so did Sonic to Amy, and they made such a cute, hot couple. Then Sonic and Amy had the rest of the class, and Sonic went to another class, thinking about how much it was gonna suck that he has to go to the play tonight. The play was just a bunch of people doing gay things and music like a car full of losers. Sonic was now in a different class, where Rouge and Shadow were also in the class. Rouge was with Knuckles, and Knuckles Jr. too, like always now.
Hey guys,
said Sonic to them.
Together? Hey. Well.
Hey, Sonic,
said them to Sonic together at the same time to save time.
what is new?
Said Sonic to them.
Charlie has been acting really weird and different lately.
Said Shadow in a dark way, which is like him.
He is probably really nervous for the play.
Said Rouge suggestively.
I wouldn't make any assumptions, but we should keep an eye on him to make sure he is okay,
said Knuckles Jr. Knuckles Jr. turned out to be a really cool baby.
I foresee something very strange at the play tonight.
The play is gay!
Said everyone together. Everyone knew it.
Yeah, come on, guys.
How are you and Tails doing?
Said Shadow to Sonic.
Tails still hates my body, inside and outside.
Said Sonic with almost tears in his eyes, but he was too big and a man for that.
It is so hard to be friends with someone who hates you and does not want to talk with you.
I know how you say it.
Said Shadow.
A lot of people hate me because I'm dark.
Said Shadow.
But I'm not trying to be a super villain, Lisa. It's just who I am.
Shadow squinted his eyes at the people around him in a way that is hard to describe and kept going.
I do crimes in the city, but I'm not a bad person. You can do bad things and mistakes sometimes and still be a good person. And people should still like you for it, unless you're a really bad person. Like Eggman, who is shit dick. Maybe one day people will see I am a good person, even if dark.
I missed the part where Shadow became Tommy Wiseau. I like it. All right.
No, see, that's the part. Shadow is a pretentious asshole who dyes his fur black.
All right.
He's edgy.
All right. Sonic listened to what Shadow said so powerfully that it was like Sonic wrote down everything on a piece of paper and put it in a special folder, and put that folder in a safe place so he could always go back to read it.
Then Sonic
itched at his balls. His balls were a wreck. That class ended, and the rest of the school did too, and Sonic went home thinking about how his balls were like two blimps covered in volcanoes that could fit on the blimps, and itched as well. When Sonic got to his home, Sonic's mom walked up to him and said,
Sonic, I went to clean your room. So, okay, I can make Sonic's mom sound like Sean Connery if you want.
Sonic's mom is Sean Connery.
Yeah, that's how this works.
All right.
Sonic, I went to clean your room, and I saw what you wrote about your gay ball problems. I am worried about your balls, and I fear it could be a mortal illness. So, I made a doctor appointment, but first, we will have dinner. I got more Chinese food, because I know how much you loved it last time.
Don't read my journal, man!
Screamed Sonic. Then Sonic went and ate the food, and just like last time, would you know it, there was a fortune cookie! And Sonic opened it and ate the cookie part and kept the paper inside to read the magical fortune on the paper. He looked at the paper and read it, and it said,
One man's pubic illness will cause the death of millions.
Some people did not believe what fortune cookie said, but Sonic knew they were magic and were always right. So he was a little worried and wondered what it could mean. Then Sonic went to the doctor. Sonic did not like going to the doctor because he was Chinese, like the food Sonic had, and made him feel nervous. Sonic went into his doctor room and sat on the chair that the doctor told him to. The doctor took out some papers and looked at them. You have to do a terribly offensive Chinese accent for this doctor.
Okay, I have two options here. I can either do a racist Chinese voice, or I can make the doctor sound like Negan from The Walking Dead, who is bombastic and over the top and always delivers everything like it is the most important thing in the world! Why did I even bother?
Hey, this is canon. This is canonical, okay?
It's the doctor is Chinese. You can't. Nobody can blame you for this.
Yep.
This doesn't go. Yeah, it is going on
I'll
YouTube. So
just
just do it.
Hello, Sonic. It has been a while since I saw you last. Sonic's mom tells me you are having problems with your balls. I'm going to do some tests on you, but first, I am going to look at your papers. I see you are, from looking at your papers, that your balls and penis are the biggest in your high school. Good job, Sonic.
Sonic appreciated the truth and nodded his head and smiled. It was okay to talk about your penis and balls with the doctor because that is what they do, even if it automatically makes them gay. The doctor made a lot of money, so being gay was probably worth it. Then the doctor started doing tests. Sonic passed all of them awesomely, and even the doctor was surprised at how Sonic was the best at everything except being smart, which Tails was the best at, but Sonic was still pretty smart too. Then they got to the last test, which was about Sonic's balls. The doctor took out a test tube and filled it with pieces from Sonic's balls, and he tested them with machines. The machines printed out reports about it, and then the doctor took them and looked at them with his very, very Chinese eyes.
Oh no, this looks bad.
Said the doctor. Looking at the reports that the machines printed out about Sonic's balls.
Oh, it looks like you have a big disease.
Uh-oh, what do I do?
Said Sonic to the doctor, really worried about the welfare of his balls.
I do not know. This is a legendary disease that only comes around once every 1 million years. No one has ever found a cure for this disease, and what it can do is very bad. This disease will go from your balls to your penis and then up into your brain, and it can kill you. Eventually, there are other things that it does, probably, but I do not know them because it is so rare, and you will just have to call me up and tell me what it does when you find out. All I can tell you right now, Sonic, is to keep your balls away from everyone you know. Do not touch them to other people, because it will spread, and they will die, and it will spread more, and the whole world will be at stake here. Please, be safe,
said the doctor in a calm way, but also scared because it was so serious.
Really? They're going to take the chance to make a joke about how it's only gay if the balls touch and just leave it there?
No, but I have to have my first sex with Amy.
My first.
We are going to do it at the play, which I am going to from here,
said Sonic. Oh no. Alright, we will resume.
We can't stop with this cliffhanger here.
Well, thank you guys for coming back. We appreciate it. We're having fun. We're having a good time here.
Hell yeah.
We're gonna all programming is being pushed to half hour, so we're still gonna have full time.
Yes.
we are okay.
So
We're good.
So
From
Huskoon
Huskoon himself.
said all programming is pushed to half hour, and then we sort of have a half hour grace period as well. So it's going well. We can go all the way to midnight.
We're fine. We're
Awesome. Half hours.
We will go as
We can
long.
go. We'll go until the wolves kick us out, basically.
Excellent.
Yeah, basically. Okay, so while we wait for a couple other people to come back, you guys have given us $7 in charity money.
Awesome.
Which is
That's-
$7 more than
Yeah,
I expected.
I'm
Look, we're just having fun.
amazed by.
Here is
Oh my.
Holy shit,
17.
now we're at 17.
The best Android?
What?
I don't know. Okay, you're right. 18's pretty hot.
All right, we'll give it like
Yeah, let's
90 more seconds for folks to get back, and then
yeah,
we'll.
let's give it to 25.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 minutes.
Okay, cool. We are resuming
it
in
was nearly full.
2
2 minutes. We are resuming. Start again with no, but I have. Oh, by the way, this is the best
Everybody's
way to do
telling
it. We should just keep doing it this way. This is great. Like having you do the
That voices
voices
and
and all that
everything.
area. Okay.
Yeah,
Not with the voices, God.
okay, yeah, you can narrate. I can do voices.
Everybody's Telegram just went off, by the way.
Really?
Yeah.
Where's my kitty?
Well, mine went off because I'm actually a part of that of the IFC Telegram channel.
I am too, but I really want.
Well, then that was.
Oh yeah, it was hanging like
Because it's constantly blowing
Oh,
up.
there it went.
It's not blowing up. They post like one message every day. Or every week.
Oh, apparently, according to Candy, it was someone smoking in there.
Yes, the one that's like.
Oh boy, so it was somebody who was too lazy to go out to the courtyard. What a surprise.
Or someone who didn't want to go out to the courtyard for
reasons.
And
Wait,
here I
what
thought
happened?
this panel was just too hot for the gun.
Tune in to Twitter for further updates, everybody.
They didn't listen to the Brownsville station song. It's not even smoking in the boys' room anymore.
I saw that. And, oh my god, don't save all the stickers.
No, you don't understand. I need to have the Dragon Maid stickers. It's the best anime.
Miss Koyabashi?
Yeah, Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. It's the best anime.
But watch Kimono Friends.
It's my maid in a box. It's my maid in a box, baby. It's so good.
All right, 10:25. Let's resume with no, but I have to have.
Okay. Give me a second here.
And you guys have to laugh especially loud when you find things funny so we can bring people back in.
Oh, such mirth, such humor.
No.
No.
Okay.
No, but I have to have my first sex with Amy. We were going to do it at the play, which I am going to from here.
On the middle of the
Sonic,
stage.
crying, sad, and mad, and afraid of things. Balls are an important part of sex. Sonic was always so healthy and the fastest person ever, but some things just cannot be stopped, like this ball disease.
Sorry. Too bad,
said the doctor.
If you do that, it will be awful. And the next person to die will be Amy. You should not want your girlfriend to die.
The doctor was right, but Sonic was still worried about it.
Okay. Well, I have to go to the play now,
said Sonic, and ran out with the most nervous feelings that Sonic had ever had. Sonic thought about it, and it was the most important high school drama. What is more important, health or love?
He said, talking about that topic as though high schoolers really know what love is.
Or what health is.
That is the end of chapter 12.
Chapter 12.
And let us do we get an intro to chapter 13?
We do not.
All right.
Anyway, chapter 13.
There is a warning.
Picking up silver. Warning. Contains Hedgehog on robot car action.
All right, and that's a promise. This is better keep. Let's go.
Isn't this the one?
No, it's not the one. Some of this, there's a lot of narration in this one.
Okay, so we'll swap it off.
Yeah, if we want to dump off paragraphs whenever you want to jump in.
Yeah.
I'll
do a few and then I'll back off.
All right, go ahead.
We can swap.
Yeah.
So just
We can swap pages or something.
It's just that.
okay. Do you want to? I can start.
Go start it off. You. Sorry. Chapter 13. A cool car raced through the city streets.
It actually says that.
Said the car as it went down the big street with lots of other cars on it. The city was filled of buildings with lights and other things, like places with McDonald's. Shouted the car as it went back and forth, going in between other cars, so it did not have to wait in traffic. The car was playing techno and rock and roll music. Techno is short for technology. Yelled the car, doing a big turn into the city intro section.
Intro!
Location update on Ultra Chaos Emerald,
said the driver of the car. The car screen blinked to a different things and then, in a robot voice, said,
Babe, Ultra Chaos Emerald getting closer.
Shadow looked at the map screen and drove faster towards the red dot that was where the last Ultra Chaos Emerald was.
Babe,
said the car in a robot voice as Shadow got closer to the dot while driving his car. It was just around the corner now. Shadow did another fast turn at this intro section and right to where the red dot on the map was. Screamed the car in a robot voice as his car dot and the Ultra Chaos Emerald dot on the map moved into each other. And in the real world, Shadow pulled up to the curb and there was a couple of gangmen.
Thanks, Omega,
said Shadow as he hopped out of the car, which was black and red and on the dark city street. He looked at the blacks standing there.
They looked dangerous. But Shadow knew they had the Ultra Chaos Emerald. Shadow took out a gun and pointed it at them and said, "Aha, give me the last Ultra Chaos Emerald."
And they looked surprised and startled, and they checked their pockets, and while they were doing that, the gun became used.
The gun became used.
The gun became used. Shadow shot all three of them. All of them. All three of them. They were now dead, guys. Shadow reached into the middle one's pocket and found what he came for. The last Ultra Chaos Emerald. By the way, that's all in capital letters.
Of course, you can't ignore the fact that he just torpedoed the resale value of his gun.
Shit! They were like the regular Chaos Emeralds, but more powerful and a secret until they were found.
He also just murdered 3 dudes on a hunch, I'm just saying.
Okay, so I have to say, to put this all in context, one line that I remember in particular from, I think it was chapter 4 or 5, there is a moment where Tails and Sonic are going to the prom, and it describes, you know what I'm talking about.
Yes, I do.
It describes the driver who got out. The driver who was like a person, but darker colored.
That's an actual line. That's an actual line.
Some of you may have missed the Chinese doctor. It was we made sure to imbue it with the proper amount of racism.
Shadow hopped back into his car, Omega, the robot car, and said,
"I got it. Now I can get one wish come true. I'm gonna think about what I've used it on before I use it."
Shadow looked at the map and said,
"Give me directions. Hamburger restaurant."
Omega changed some screens and said in a robot voice,
Beep, bop, boop, hamburger restaurant location found. It's over here. Hey, hey, hey.
And Shadow looked at where the dot was. It was right nearby. What? So, did I do that right? Yeah, okay. So, well, this is different. It's okay. This isn't even mine. Thank you for letting me use it.
No problem.
So Shadow drove there with more loud sounds. Shadow went to the drive-thru and got a hamburger and fries. Those are in capital letters for some reason. And sat in the parking lot in Omega and ate it.
This is great. I love this place. It is always the place that I love to come to after I finish a crime.
Said Shadow darkly. Omega did not need food because he was a robot shaped into a car. Shadow finished eating and threw the garbage into Omega's trash hole, where he turned the litter into gasoline, which was useful. Then Shadow took his penis out.
"Hey Omega, check this out,"
said Shadow, laughing as he took his big, neat, hard penis and stuck it into Omega's trash hole.
Unrecognized item in trash hole. Error.
Said Oh wait, sorry. Said Omega.
"That's my penis, man."
Said Shadow to Omega.
Penis not trash, not allowed in trash hole.
Said Omega to Shadow. Shadow couldn't fit all of his big, strong penis into Omega's trash hole anyway. So he took it out and gave to Omega a taste of his balls too. That doesn't even make sense. Omega did not recognize Shadow's balls as trash either, which was good. And then Shadow put his balls back and took to drive off with his hand still on his penis.
"Where is Silver's house?"
Said Shadow to Omega, while he rubbed really quick and hard on his penis with one hand while his other hand was driving. Omega updated his map and showed where Silver's house was on the other side of the dark city.
It's like a city, but dark.
Dark.
Shadow kept empowering his penis with his one hand, and he drove faster and more dangerously. Soon, his penis was so big he could hardly see in front of him anymore, and he was zigzagging across the street trying to keep both his penis and his car in control. Then he put both his hands on his penis and made it do all sorts of things until it was done, and his penis redecorated the inside of Omega with white curtains.
Just so you know, that's my semen.
Said Shadow to Omega. Omega knew that already. Shadow put both of his hands back on the steering wheel and drove faster, but suddenly some loud sounds and flashing lights came up behind him.
What? The police is following you,
said Omega. Shadow decided to follow the laws and stopped his car in the street and waited for the police to come over to him. Shadow's penis was still big though, so he tucked it under his leg on the right and it stuck up in the middle of Omega the car, and Shadow put his hand on it. The police came over to the front window of Omega and looked at Shadow inside.
Cool vehicle,
said the police.
Thanks,
said Shadow to the police back.
Okay, do you know that you were breaking a law by going that fast back and forth on the street?
Said the police to Shadow, sounding more like Miss Lesson than a real person. Miss Lesson is apparently a teacher at Summit School. She's apparently a real person.
Yeah, she's the English teacher, actually.
Which means the voice will change here in a second. Yeah, I do,
said Shadow, and he patted his hand on his penis in the middle of the front of the car.
Sir, please take your hand off the gear stick in the middle of the car right now,
said the police to Shadow. Shadow looked at the police and laughed and said,
It's not the gear stick. That is my penis.
And drove off before the police could say anything or really even react at all.
You have broken another law,
said Omega to Shadow. Shadow laughed because he could see the police far behind him giving up and going to look for an easier criminal.
Now,
said Shadow,
let's go to Silver's house.
Shadow drove the car fast to Silver's house on the other side of the city, and when he got there, he braked the car so hard that the sound it made was like hearing the world's largest bird get punched in his tummy.
No!
Shadow honked the horn, and when he was finished honking the horn, Silver jumped out of the window and onto the street and into the side seat of Omega.
Hey, Shadow, thanks for the ride,
said Silver.
Cool curtains you put up.
Shadow laughed and said,
No problem. Now, if we do not hurry up for driving fast, you will be late for the play.
Silver said,
Do not worry. We will get there in time.
Silver was another big role in the play, but he was not a huge gay like Charmy B. Silver was kind of like Sonic, but less fast. Sonic also had the best morals, but maybe Silver dressed better, but that was kind of gay too. Silver did have this big hair thing on the front that looked like a marijuana, though, so maybe Sonic was better at being stylish anyway. It is hard to tell because Silver lived in the city, which was kind of far away from high school. Shadow stepped on the gases and the car went away through the city into the moonlight and towards out of the city to high school. Wow.
Alright, so that was the end of chapter 13. We are moving on to chapter 14. The play.
I really do.
Okay, go ahead. Take chapter 14. Just start chapter 14.
I'd like to remind you guys all that part of this panel is for charity. If you like what we're doing and you'd like to make sure that a bunch of cute animals continue to have a very nice place to live, come up here and please put some money in the hat.
Save the animals.
Save the animals because Sonic sure doesn't want you to. Chapter 14, the play, Sonic High School.
The play is gay and for fags, by the way. Just
yeah, so
I can go a whole chapter if you guys want.
No, I'm second.
You're doing great.
Okay, go ahead.
Sonic and Amy got to high school and went to the play, which was at the school. And they got to the auditorium. They were not expecting to be surprised, but they were, because the auditorium was actually full of men and women idiots wanting to see the play. Cool young people, such as high school students, did not want to come to see the play unless they had to. The place was so full that Sonic and Amy had to sit in back seats surrounded by strangers that could have been dirty, or usually did crime.
Oh no, May, get out of here. Take Greg with you.
Back in the woods?
Yes.
Sonic looked around the place and saw Rouge and Knuckles Jr., who was a baby, sitting really by the door. Sitting really by the door, out.
I feel like we should have a who was a baby counter.
Yeah, he was a baby.
Also a do sex.
Or before he was a baby.
Okay, go ahead.
And Tails and Cream all the way on the other side, which is where they were probably would have sat anyway, because Tails hated Sonic to the sky. Sonic also saw Shadow standing around places, but he did not get in a seat, because he was too bad for that.
We're at the play now,
said Amy to Sonic, even though she was surrounded by people who were neither of them.
I wonder when it will begin.
I'm going to start soon.
Said
it's going to start soon.
Said Sonic back to Amy.
What I am wondering is not that, but it is if Charmy is going to mess up big time because he has been acting weird all week. I bet you he will.
Sonic laughed about this because it did. Oh my god. No, you just do it again.
I bet you he will. What a gay.
Sonic laughed about this because it did not really matter to him, but it did to Charmy. The play they were doing was The Christmas Story, even though it was not Christmas time. But they thought it was a good idea to do it anyway. In the play, Silver played Joseph, who was Jesus' dad. Charmy played Mary, because even though he was not a girl, everyone thought he was anyway. Take that! Never mind. The baby version of Jesus was going to be played by Knuckles.
Jesus was a communist. You heard it her first.
Who was fitted for the role now that he was a baby.
That is the first thing that has made sense in this whole fucking thing.
Sonic and Amy sat patiently in the seats. Sonic and Amy sat patiently in the seats they were in, even though Sonic could have... Oh my god, this is so hard to read.
I got it. Do you want me to take it?
No, I got this. Sonic and Amy sat patiently in the seats they were in, even though Sonic could have been running around. Sonic waited by rubbing Amy's legs and seeing how close he could get to his hand to her vagina before she rubbed him off. Sonic determined that Amy was prime and ready for sex because her vagina felt hard and loose, as you could tell. Drink! Her vagina felt hard and loose as far as he could tell when he would get close to it with his hand before the play began. He almost forgot totally that he had a deadly ball disease. The play started, and it was as gay as you thought it would be. Holy fuck! There were singing and songs, but otherwise, it was like The Christmas Story always was, just like that. Mary got a letter from an angel saying that she was going to have a baby, but she did not want to have a baby at home because the king would not let the babies vote. So Mary and Joseph rode bikes all the way from London to Jerusalem. When they got there, the hospital was full.
Oh no!
Greatest story ever told.
I'm Catholic, so this is great. So they went to a barn and they had the baby there. It turned out to be the legendary hero Jesus.
Excuse me? The legendary hero Jesus.
But the doctor, Sonic's ball doctor, was not delivering the baby.
Somebody had to be there.
Descendants from him.
Okay, alright.
Through the whole play, Silver did a really good job, and Charmy did an okay job. But everyone sure believed he was a woman because his voice was so high and girls, just like me.
Then they got to the ending, where Mary was to have her baby out. Mary flipped onto her front, and Joseph pulled Jesus out of her butt, which looked totally fake. Sonic could tell, even with special affects. Joseph held Jesus up to show God, and then they gave him to Mary, who was actually Charmy. Charmy looked at Jesus, Knuckles, really close, and then reached into his clothing with the hand that was not holding him and pulled out a knife.
Time to get murdered!
Said Charmy as he started to kill Knuckles. Just as he began to do this, Silver bodily flew into them and knocked Knuckles up and away from Charmy.
Oh my god, what is happening?
Said Amy, who was startled hard.
Charmy is trying to kill Knuckles, obviously.
Said Sonic to Amy. It was true. And people started to be yelling and screaming. Just then, a gunshot came from the back of the audience.
A gunshot?
Oh no.
Shadow pulled out his gun from his spot and aimed it at Charmy B from the back of the audience. Shadow fired his gun, and the bullet hit his head, but he must have been wearing a gun-proof helmet because the bullet from the gun went off his head and up into the ceiling, where it hit a light, and the light fell down along with other things. Something from the ceiling fell into the back of the stage where the props were, and one of the props was a bomb that they used for some things. The prop was a real bomb, though, and when the thing hit it, the bomb exploded.
Take over. The bomb exploded with a huge explosion, like a bunch of horses made of fire running through the place. Suddenly, people did not really care about the play anymore because the place was full of fire and could kill you. Ruse and Knuckles Jr. already got out quickly away because they were by the door. Sonic looked and saw Amy next to him was almost in conscience because of all the fire and smoke and shocking things. Sonic picked her up and ran out of the auditorium with his fast speed. Sonic found Rouge and Knuckles Jr. outside in the hallway where it was safe.
Are you okay?
Said Rouge.
Knuckles Jr. predicted this would happen, so we sat by the door so we could get away easily.
Yeah, we're okay, said Sonic. Amy here is going into a shock attack, but it is nothing she will not get over.
Sonic looked around and saw people running out. But there was a lot of other people still stuck in the auditorium, and some of them were fainted. People were leaving and not helping the other people out. But the lunch lady, who had ears but was deaf, I need to give that its proper context. But the lunch lady, who had ears but was deaf, was running into the auditorium and carrying women and children back out. The lunch lady lived in Mongolia by herself and became very strong from carrying trees. From the frozen forests to the villages that she traveled between. So now she could carry stacks of people. Since she was deaf, all of the noises that the fire was making did not bother her because she could not hear.
Can we just stop a second to appreciate deaf, incredibly strong Mongolian lunch lady?
who will later be voiced by Helen Keller.
I'm just saying, like, the author of Sonic High School clearly has some incredible imagination because he pulled this out of God knows where. How many deaf Mongolian super strength lunch ladies do you know? This is
At
least two.
I really like it.
Take the narration. Keep the voices.
Okay. Sonic saw the lunch lady bring out cream, but Tails was not being brought out because he was not a woman or a child. Is this a Titanic? Sonic thought.
Damn, he is still my friend.
Sonic swallowed. Sonic swallowed.
Ew, fear, yuck.
Sonic swallowed his scary feelings and ran into the burning auditorium to Tails, who was passed out in the front. Sonic picked up Tails and ran and brought his body outside to the hallway and began doing CPR on his body.
Yeah,
Sonic thought,
yeah, this will look gay.
but it did not matter because Tails was still his friend. Sonic pushed on his body, oh baby, and started kissing him to give him life again. Oh baby. Sonic kept kissing and kissing and kissing, and Amy and Rouge and Knuckles Jr. watched him as he kissed Tails' face, but Tails was not waking up.
Sonic!
Said Shadow over on his side.
Shami escaped and is running through the school like a murderer now. Stop CPR kissing Tails. You have to help us catch him.
Then Silver gave Knuckles to Rouge and said,
He is safe now, but he needs to sleep.
Rouge was so happy she could have kissed him. I could have kissed you for that, but she did not. Sonic looked at Amy and said,
So I was thrown off by your misreading of that because there was no name.
You're right. You're right.
Sonic.
Sorry. Sonic looked and said,
Amy, finish doing CPR on Tails. I will let you know, and I will let you and not get jealous.
Sonic kissed her mouth and felt one of her boobs.
Like a good boyfriend.
You can just feel the eroticism dripping here.
Boop, boop.
And ran off with Shadow and Silver to go catch the guy who was trying to kill baby Knuckles. Not Knuckles Jr., baby Knuckles.
Same thing.
That was now running around the school and could danger them all.
So that is the end of the chapter, and can we just do a quick summary of what happened here? So they all went to the play, and Charmy tried to murder Knuckles Jr., who was playing. They were doing a Christmas pageant. Knuckles Jr. was playing the baby Jesus, and Charmy just randomly tried to fucking murder him. And then Shadow pulled out a gun, and like a bullet got deflected into the ceiling, and then some light fixtures came down and set off a bomb prop that set everything on fucking fire. And then Sonic had to do gay CPR on Tails. And now Charmy is a psycho killer who is running around the school, and somebody's gonna have to go deal with it.
No, I want to appreciate this because the Christmas story is about like
The Christmas story. No, the Christmas story is apparently about Mary and Joseph taking bicycles to Jerusalem.
From London.
From London.
So one of them is obviously related to Sonic because in order to get from London to Jerusalem, you would have had to have been Lance Armstrong. And as we
You
know,
gotta go
Lance
fast.
Armstrong, you have to go fast.
Gotta
and
go
you don't-
fast.
And you don't need no balls.
Don't need a ball. Have we mentioned that Sonic's balls are rotting off?
Not to mention, if we're in Jerusalem, is Alkali there?
Maybe he might be the top hat ambassador.
We got a lot of narration.
Well, plus the lunch lady is plus the lunch lady is a deaf Mongolian merchant with...
Chapter 15.
All right.
Killer on the loose.
Oh, Charmy.
Author's note. I wrote this chapter on a train. Oh Jesus! Holy crap! There's so much narration. Do we want to
switch up. We'll all do narration.
Do we want to switch off every paragraph?
You want to do every graph? Okay, yeah, sure. We'll
Every
go in
graph,
order.
every
Me,
graph.
you, him. All right, cool. All right, I'll start. He wrote this chapter on a train. Shadow and Silver ran ahead into the school, but Sonic stopped to go to the bathroom, and he took an enormous, bad-smelling poop.
Oh, back to chapter 2.
Sonic knew he must be very emotional because this poop was so big that when he tried to flush the toilet, the big poop log just folded in half and clogged the toilet easily, while looking like part of a really fat pretzel that you could get on a wall. Not like the little ones, in bags from the supermarket.
We must have gone to Auntie whatever her name is.
Who invited Dragor?
Sonic just said,
Yeah, forget it.
and ran out of the now very stinky bathroom and after Charmy B. No, his. We're going to him and then, or to you. It's up to you.
Let's just go down the line.
All right, bye.
Sonic passed Shadow and Silver, who were in different hallways and going different ways, but he did not pass them at the same time because they were in different hallways.
Bro, that logic checks out. It's the first thing to make sense in the last 25 minutes.
No, baby Knuckles playing baby Jesus. That made sense.
Fuck
He was a
you.
baby Jesus was a baby. It made sense.
No, and I want you to know this is all one sentence.
All right, read it.
And because even though Sonic was very fast, he could not actually be in two different places at the same time. That's the end of the sentence. Sonic went one way, and Shadow went the other way, and Silver went another way, and kept it happening that way.
One room that Sonic looked in was the art room. Oh, look, it's my old hometown. It made Sonic remember having art class with Charmy B.
Is this Newcastle?
Charmy, fuck you, shut up. Charmy could not control his gay urges like everyone else, and used all the colors.
Everyone else is controlling your game.
And used all the colors in every picture, just like most of these standard gay telegram pictures where a fursona is vomiting up a rainbow.
He's adding that. That's not in the
Fantastic!
Yeah, you're gonna have that. Every picture where, like Sonic just used blue and Amy just used pink, and other people were also normal like that. Sonic thought about how this was, and that it was still surprising that Charmy could do something like this.
Shadow went into a room, among other rooms, was the car fixing room. Shadow remembered about how he had car fixing class with Charmy, and how Charmy was really terrible at fixing cars because it was not in him to do something that was like a man would do.
Someone bring me more happy juice. I don't have enough to finish the rest of this part.
Shadow thought it was weird how Charmy could now do something that was so manly, like killing.
Shit, this is my turn. Sonic and Shadow and Silver. Oh, wait.
Like killing.
Oh, fuck. Okay, sorry. Radio, everyone.
Ruining this fine literature.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert!
Spoiler alert! And one room that Silver ran into was the gym room, where Silver one time had gym class with Charmy B, period. He remembered how Charmy was positively the worst at sports and...
Okay, I'm not all of a sudden killer right now, but still, everybody's dumping on him all the time. This poor little baby.
No, he's not even a baby. He's a bee. He's in the middle of a high school. Do you know why? Because the best flower...
Because he gave back?
No. Obviously...
We're sticking to that.
No, the best flower to seek the pollen from is the flower of blooming womanhood.
Oh my god.
That was your cue to groan, audience.
No. You mean like sweet rabbit genitals?
God. Go ahead, go.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna go on that. Okay. He remembered how Charmy was positively the worst at sports and being an athlete, so it made him wonder why Charmy could do anything that was actually doing something, like killing. Not in the same way as the last paragraph.
Oh my God. We'll try to get through this. Oh, Jesus Christ. Sonic and Shadow and Silver ran around and around, and eventually they just got tired, just like the audience listening to all this bullshit, and could not find Charmy at all. Charmy was trying to be a murderer, but they were just tired, and tired of looking for him. So they sat down in chairs and didn't do anything else now. Back in the front of the school, Amy decided that she needed to go to the bathroom. Rouge went
Girls!
Ladies. Naturally, ladies, Rouge went with her because she had to go too.
Of course, women go to the bathroom together. It's the thing
That's
to do.
what they do. And Cream stayed with Knuckles and Knuckles Jr. and Tails, who was still trying to become awake.
Get woke, Tails. Most people had left the school by now, but there were still some waiting to get into the women's bathroom. But Amy and Rouge did not feel like waiting in line, so they just went to the men's bathroom, where normally it was that the people inside were men. Amy and Rouge were not men, so this was against the rules. Amy and Rouge, as soon as Amy opened the door, a super-powered smell hit her in the face. It punched her right in the nose because it was Sonic's poop smell.
Oh my God!
Screamed Rouge.
What is that smell?
I have heard.
Yeah, you do. Absolutely.
I have heard this smell a million times before. so we have confirmed that Amy is drunk because, just like Alkali, when he's had one too many, she can hear smell.
Are you sure she's been drinking and it's not something else?
Well, she has been hanging around Sonic, and we know he's like cancer.
Everybody seems to have completely forgotten about the homicidal bee right now, because now it's just about Sonic's poop smell.
Who cares about the murderer? We have poop.
Just say that sentence again so that
We're just dropping that plot point.
Okay.
I have heard this smell a million times before.
Said Amy to Rouge, who could say this because she was Sonic's girlfriend. Meaning that she has been around Sonic pooping.
No, I missed that voice. I did that as Rouge.
Yeah, I am.
This smell is Sonic's poop.
Amy and Rouge went into the bathroom anyway because you could never get a break when it comes to going to the bathroom. No matter what.
Go fast.
You always end up going, even if you try. No matter what, you always end up going, even if you try all night. Ow, that hurt! They were holding their hands above their noses, and then Amy opened up a stall door and inside. Okay. And then Amy opened up a stall door, and inside what was a shocking thing to see, but she saw it anyway. Guys, it was Charmy B.
So, we have an important job. Go out into the audience, collect money for the charity.
Yes, please do.
Please do. So,
Charity? Anybody? Charity?
It's you!
Screamed Amy in a scared and shocked way.
You're a murderer! Not yet!
Said Charmy, which is true. He hasn't actually killed yet, only attempted murder.
But now, I will start to be by killing you!
Charmy jumped at her from inside the stall and into Amy, and they fell back, and Charmy was on top and holding a knife and was about to cut Amy apart when Rouge came over and kicked Charmy, and he flew off her body and over to the wall by rolling.
Take this,
said Rouge, and she flapped at her bat wings at Charmy to push all of the horrible poop air at him, and all went to him. But then Charmy got up and ran right at Amy with his knife and cut her on the legs because he is short, and then jumped back.
Ow!
Said Amy.
I'm dying!
Amy fell backwards and got dizzy.
No! Stay with me,
said Rouge.
Use your... Can I read this part?
Use your special move while you can.
Amy knew what Rouge was talking about, so Amy used her special attack.
Oh my God!
Amy shouted, "Girl blood!" and opened her legs, and a stream of blood shot at Charmy. Since Amy was so good at being nice and caring, which is using your heart, Amy was able to speed up her heart so fast that her blood pumped out of the wound on her legs like a super soaker filled up by vampires. The blood hit Charmy in the face and body and all over, really. and it was steaming and burning him, but he looked like he didn't care. Amy looked shocked and yelled, "How can you be so invincible?"
Then Rouge said,
I bet he can't handle my special attack. Romance bite!
Rouge flew with her back wings and went over to Charmy and bit him right in the neck using her fangs and tried to make him fall in love with her. But it did not work.
It's not working,
cried Amy.
He must have superpowers. He is going to kill us for sure.
Amy and Rouge tried to get away from Charmy, but he kept blocking them and coming at them with the knife. They were finally trapped in the corner, holding on to each other with their best-in-show boobs, pressing up against each other and looking like the sexiest Legos ever.
I got it.
No, I had to give that one a moment. Then, all of a sudden, Tails came into the bathroom and threw a piece of electronics at Charmy. Charmy looked up at Tails and said,
but you are supposed to be
and then died right there. Tails just tried to murder Charmy. What? The gay fag is dead! The gay fag is dead!
The gay faggot is dead!
You will never again have the opportunity to seek the pollen from
No. R.I.P. Charmy, press F.
Press F to pay respects.
Oh well. Tails went over to Amy and Rouge and definitely stopped for a second to check out their boobs without them knowing, but then stopped and said,
You are safe now. It was not Charmy. It was a robot.
Whoa. It was a robot, guys.
Wasn't Charmy? The gay fag lives! The gay fag lives!
A robot? How did you know?
Said Amy. Tails, being the smartest, thought it was a question for idiots, but said,
I know. As soon as Charmy was not being hurt, the Sonic's Pope stink. I was watching.
IQ 500 right there.
I was watching from the door. Normally, Charmy would have complained and passed out from smelling that, but he did not. So, I knew. As soon as it happened, I ran. I went and I got a robot device from my electronics. Wow, thanks,
said Amy and kissed Tails on the cheek for a reward.
Really, Tails? You saved us,
said Rouge and kissed Tails on the other cheek. This shows that you can be cool by being smart. Except if you are a nerd ass. That's a throwback, guys. Tails and Amy and Rouge and walked out of the bathroom and back to where Cream and Knuckles Jr. was. And soon Sonic and Shadow and Silver came back and they were all back together. The lunch lady was the only other person still there.
Yes! Mongolian super strength lunch lady!
Just wait! She comes back! Yes. She comes back!
Alright.
And she saw how tired they looked, so she made them all a bunch of chow meat sandwiches.
What the fuck? They're eating chow?
Yes! Yes, they are.
Were there chow students earlier?
Maybe.
This is ordinary high school.
God damn it! The author doesn't give a fuck about continuity, so why should we?
Cannibals in high school.
Everything hurts.
Thank you, Trey Parker and Matt Stone.
And they all ate until their tummies were gonna burst. All the time while they were eating, though, Sonic thought to himself,
but then, where is Charmy? And where is the guy who made the robot? And so many other things. I High school drama is just so crazy to be a part of.
Why is that all in capital letters?
Because it's the end of a chapter, and that's how you end a chapter when you're a 17-year-old who doesn't know how to write and wants to end it with a dramatic stinger. That is how we end chapter 15. It is time for chapter 16.
Hooray for Sherlock Holmes!
It's one of them, I think. Chapter 16.
Hooray for Sherlock Holmes' tales, who was able to deduce that because the charming robot was not being affected by Sonic's horrible poop smell, that he was in fact a robot and not the real Charmy Bee, who is apparently still alive, but is still a gay fag. We would just like to establish that.
Just to correct you, that was Tails, who is voiced by Christopher Walken.
Yeah.
Who knows anything and everything because he's been around forever and he knows all the smells.
Do we have an intro to chapter 16?
We do not. It is called.
Then
it is an
please
entitled chapter 16.
It is a
Responsibilities.
Responsibilities. Please take the first paragraph of chapter 16.
It was now a new day of school, and Sonic went to it. Sonic took a peek at the auditorium where the bomb had gone off last night, and it looked like they were fixing it. So that was good. End statement. Sonic went to his first class and his second class, and all of his classes after that until lunch, which is what he was at now. Sonic went to his lunch table and was about to say,
"Hey guys!"
But then he looked at his normal lunch table and he thought,
"Wait, what has happened?"
Tails was not here because he had been mad at Sonic. Knuckles was not here because he was now a baby.
Drink, every drink.
Finally.
Knuckles was not here because he was now a baby with rouge. Espio was
Yes,
not
he was a
here.
baby after he became a baby.
You're not wrong. Espio was not here because he was at the hospital after fighting with Knuckles before he became a baby. And Charmy was here. Oh, Charmy was not here because he was still in a disappearing mystery. God, all of this hurts to read. The only people that there were Shadow and Vector.
"Hey guys!"
said Sonic.
"What is going on?"
Do you want to go?
Yeah, I just have to find this. Alright, okay. Said Sonic.
Yeah.
"Hey guys!
Said Sonic.
What is going on with high school?"
Okay. Audience, this is your chance.
We need a voice for Vector.
We need a voice for Vector. I can do. Let's see here. What's the voice that I've done?
What's one you can?
Okay, I can turn Vector into Heath Ledger's Joker if you guys want.
Okay,
that'd be pretty
good. All right,
I vote for it.
Okay, so hey guys, said Sonic.
What is going on in high school?
It sure is crazy.
Laughed Vector while he ate his yellow sandwich.
Has anything happened today?
Said Sonic to them.
Didn't you hear?
Said Shadow.
Espio is back from the hospital. He would be here at lunch right now, but he's getting all of his work from his teachers.
That reminds me.
This is what happens. That reminds me.
Said Vector.
Also, Knuckles is having trouble with grades now that he has become a baby, but has not turned in any of his homework or tests, and he is going to fail high school and get kicked out if he doesn't do them.
Wow, that's tough.
Said Sonic. And then all of a sudden, the announcement speaker came on.
Attention, teenagers,
said the announcement speaker.
Amy and Rouge have detention for going into the boys' room.
Oh my God.
Last night after the play. Please go there immediately.
Oh no!
Said Sonic so immediately.
So immediately.
Looks like they're going to be in there for a long time.
Said Shadow.
There is no...
Yeah, I know.
There is no way I can become true boyfriend and girlfriend with Amy if she is dropped in detention by having sex.
Said Sonic. Sonic was so upset now that the announcement speaker came on again.
Attention teenagers! Sonic, please come to the office.
Said the speaker. Heath Ledger.
No, this is Vector.
Yeah, Heath Ledger.
Ledger?
Yes.
Uh-oh. Looks like you're in trouble too.
Said Vector. Vector was always making people mad. He was definitely an asshole to be around. Sonic got embarrassed, like when Miss Lesson read about his balls problem, and he ran out of the lunchroom and through the halls with his head down, not looking or talking to anyone, and went to the office.
Hello?
Said Sonic to the office.
What do you want?
Here, this is for you.
Said the school worker, who had long hair and a star tattoo with an outline on her face.
Rouge left it for you before going to detention.
Sonic went over to the desk she was at and looking at and pointing to and found what she was talking about, which was Knuckles and Knuckles Jr. with a note attached to them that said,
"Please take care of us while Rouge and Espio are not around."
Sonic was so surprised. He had never taken care of a baby before, forget two. Especially when one of them was his friend after becoming a baby.
Drink.
Thanks for coming so quickly.
Said Knuckles Jr.
I was getting tired and very hungry.
Knuckles Jr. was red.
Like a communist.
Like a communist.
Sonic picked up Knuckles and Knuckles Jr. and put them in his backpack and went to the rest of his classes and then went home. Sonic got home and opened his backpack and took Knuckles and Knuckles Jr. out and put them on his bed.
Welcome to my room.
Said Sonic.
Don't check out the pornos on my desk if you don't want to see them.
Said Sonic.
You are both only babies.
Knuckles and Knuckles Jr. laughed and ate food that Sonic brought up for them after they laughed.
Hey, Sonic,
Said Knuckles.
you got to help me out with my homework. It is very hard to write as a baby.
So then Sonic helped Knuckles to learn to write, and he finished doing his homework as a baby. Knuckles probably did a lot of things wrong, but Sonic did not care, because homework was boring.
Duh.
Then Sonic went to mow the lawn, which made his balls itch extra, and then he went back upstairs, but stopped on the stairs to put some soothing poultices on his balls.
Poultices?
That's an advanced word for this guy.
That's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
So, what do you guys do for fun?
Oh, sorry. Go for it. Yeah, I found it.
Said Sonic to Knuckles and Knuckles Jr.
Well,
Said Knuckles.
can we tell you? Can we tell you? And you promise you will not tell anyone?
Okay, so I've only been reading Knuckles Jr. I've got to make Knuckles Jr. a higher pitched Russian for this part.
So, what do you guys do for fun?
Said Sonic to Knuckles and Knuckles Jr. Well, said Knuckles, can we tell you and you promise you will not tell anyone? Don't worry, said Knuckles Jr. to Knuckles. I can tell he will not tell anyone. Okay then, said Knuckles to Sonic. When we are alone and we're not being held by Rouge, we like to practice kissing on each other. It is technically okay because I am Knuckles Jr.'s dad, and the dad is allowed to kiss his baby.
Daddy.
This is a good song.
Good, said Sonic. Show me.
So Knuckles and Knuckles Jr. got very close to each other and kissed each other in a really good way. It was okay because they are father and son, and also both brothers. and that is allowed everywhere.
Does the author need help? Oh, that's what I'm saying. We need to call chapter.
And it is not illegal, even though they are both babies now. The two of them kissing looked like two big, not sexual caterpillars pushing themselves together. It was not a sexual kiss, but it was big. Gold medal kiss, anyway.
So, to give you guys a reminder, we're only about halfway through this train wreck.
Wow. I can tell you are both going to be romance experts when you grow up.
Said Sonic.
I would ask you for tips, but it would probably be against the law.
Sonic asked them to kiss one more time, and they did. But Sonic videotaped it this time.
Child porn.
So he would know how to kiss Amy even better the next time that they kissed. Which would be when she gets out of detention. Then they all had a root beer and talked about which girls are the hottest.
You missed child porn, by the way.
I missed child porn.
Yeah.
I mean, this is all child porn.
CP.
Oh, yeah.
You gotta be.
Which girl do you think is the highest?
Said Sonic to Knuckles and Knuckles Jr.
I know my answer. It is Amy.
Amy was Sonic's girlfriend, so this was very good of him to say. It proves that he should be able to have sex with her.
No way!
Said Knuckles. Just then, Sonic wanted to slug that little fang bitch in the mouth for saying ugly about his girlfriend, but didn't.
The hottest girl is Rouge.
None of them could not say that Rouge was not attractive, because she had the absolute biggest boobs in the tri-state area.
This is so difficult.
My opinion is different.
Said Knuckles Jr.
I think the hottest girl is Charmy.
They all laughed so hard because Charmy was so much like a girl, except not hot. Everyone knew that laughing was good for them, even if Charmy was kidnapped or dead. And that it made them feel healthy. Knuckles Jr. was definitely the coolest baby because everyone could get along with him and he could do jokes also. Then they all got out of their clothes and into bedtime clothes and went to sleep. Sonic was sleeping just fine and normally until there was a whisper at the edge of his face.
Sonic?
Said the whisper.
Sonic?
Sonic opened his eyes and saw the person whispering to him, and who he saw was right there, which was Knuckles Jr.
What is it, Knuckles Jr.?
Said Sonic to Knuckles Jr.
I was sleeping until you whispered.
I was sleeping until you whispered my name to me. I had a vision.
Said Knuckles Jr.
I know who the real killer man is, and I know where Charmy is.
All right.
Chapter.
Yeah, we can do one more. Chapter. We only got a few people left, but you guys are committed, so we're glad you're here. And
we are. Okay.
What?
If any of you guys have money you want to give us, please.
We will do one more chapter.
It's going to charity.
It's all going to charity.
We're not going to get to chapter 19 like you wanted, but
no, we're not. But
this is good.
If this is the one I think it is, it will be worth it.
All right.
So,
chapter 17.
Can I be first?
You can go ahead. Yeah, I just.
Chapter 17. Oh wow, we actually have a summary here.
Okay. All right. Well, please lead.
There's a warning too.
Please lead us in.
And a warning. Damn. Chapter 16.
17. Right?
On duty.
I'm a historian. I'm not a math historian. That's how you say it. Chapter 17. Breaking in. Chapter summary. Warning. Contains the worst sex scene ever written.
Well, at least he's self-aware.
There's a qualifier.
Yeah, I think that's been kind of obvious ever since he came up with the bit about how the car is screeching to a halt. sounds like the words they were punched in the tummy.
So, warning. Contains the worst sex scene ever written. And yes, I have read My Immortal.
Oh, wow, he really is self-aware. All right.
Author's note. If you have any comments or compliments or questions or suggestions, please leave a review or comment. I really like getting them, and it makes me want to write more. I could probably write a Wikipedia about everything in this series so far.
Chapter 17, Sonic High School, Breaking In.
Go ahead, take the voice. Start with the voice.
All right.
Ass, this window will not open. Not even a little.
Said Sonic as he tried pushing the window of the house where Charmy Bee was in Knuckles Jr.'s vision. Sonic even put his back up against the wall and tried using the top of his head and hands to push up on it, but it would just not move because it was just such a big and heavy closed window.
It looks like you're having a hard time,
said Knuckles Jr.
Weak pussy.
Knuckles Jr. laughed because he was kidding, but Sonic did not think it was that funny and gave him a look that was like he just took the pickles off Sonic's hamburger that he specifically asked for pickles on. In addition, Sonic really liked pickles.
Well, we need help, but I do not want to bring someone else into this problem,
said Sonic to Knuckles Jr., thinking. Sonic thought about...
Who is strong?
He thought of some people like Knuckles, but then remembered that he is now a baby, and hence thus not a strong guy. And Tails, who was not strong, but probably had some strong robots. And Espio, who was probably about the same in strongness as Sonic, but Sonic did not want to ask him for help, because that would be like saying...
You are stronger than me.
And Sonic did not want to say that to Espio. He also thought of Big the Cat, who was in some retard classes at school. But he did not want to talk to him because it was always weird. There was only one person that Sonic could think of.
Come with me, Knuckles Jr.,
said Sonic to Knuckles Jr. It was the middle of the night, and Sonic and Knuckles Jr. went up to the door of a different home.
A different house.
Different home.
Ding dong,
said the doorbell when Sonic pressed it.
Press it again,
said Knuckles Jr.
Ding dong, ding dong, ding dong,
said
ding
the doorbell
dong.
again and again as Sonic pressed it. Sonic saw the light flashing on and off inside the house every time he pressed it and laughed because it was so annoying and the person inside the house was probably just trying to sleep. But Sonic needed help, so too bad! Finally, the door opened, and there was the lunch lady from high school.
All right.
The lunch lady from high school also was deaf.
Here she comes. Here comes Helen Keller.
Wait, Mongolian, ultra-strong, deaf lunch lady. What's a Mongolian accent like? I have no idea. She wouldn't know either. She's deaf.
Who cares? All right, so... What do you need, children?
Said the lunch lady.
Oh my god, that's awful.
Since she was deaf, when she talked, it sounded weird and kind of like Big the Cat, where you think she's retarded, but she actually is not, and just because she is deaf, so everything she says sounds totally wrong. It sounded more like,
what do you need, children?
than normal language. Big the Cat was actually retarded, though, so it was different.
We need your help. It is very important,
said Sonic, and made a face kind of like a beggar idiot to get her to say yes.
But she's deaf.
Okay, I will help you,
said the lunch lady. Sonic and Knuckles Jr. were so excited that they high-fived right there. Because this is just what they needed to do, what they wanted to do.
Yeah!
Sonic and Knuckles Jr. and the lunch lady went back to the house where Charmy was and went to the window that Sonic could not open.
Please, open this window,
said Sonic to the lunch lady. The lunch lady walked over to the window and with just her pinky finger, she opened the window like she was a walking elephant picking up a piece of string because it was so easy.
Wow! Thank you,
said Sonic and Knuckles Jr. at the same time in the middle of the night.
No, that is not how you thank me,
said the lunch lady. When the lunch lady lived in Bangladesh as a young woman, which is not Mongolia,
Here we go. Here
learned
we go.
about the ancient tradition of sex spanking, and she explained it all to Sonic.
So, you want me to give you sex with
My mouth?
Said Sonic to the lunch lady.
Yes, because it is the ancient tradition. It is not naughty.
Said the lunch lady, who was also really tall.
Female alkaline? Amy will.
Not deaf.
Amy
Or
will.
Mongolian.
Or Bangladeshi, apparently from all over.
So his only qualification is that he's very tall and he's very regal. Amy will forgive
Well, Xander's
me.
deaf.
Thought Sonic underneath his hair in his brain.
Fuck.
She would know that I am doing this for a good reason. We have not even done sex yet, Drink, so she cannot be mad at me. Even if she is, I would let her give sex to the lunch lady too. And I would not get mad, but then we would be even.
Sonic winked and gave her a thumbs up, and then the lunch lady pulled her dress down and sat down on a tree stump and opened her legs. Sonic looked at the lunch lady's vagina. Oh yeah, you want it? Alright, take it. He's taking it probably.
Sonic looked at the lunch lady's vagina, and it looked like a sideways piece of lasagna in between two dogs walking down and away from it. Sonic thought her vagina was really attractive for a middle-aged lady, and put his head closer to it.
Why not?
Sonic had never done mouth sex before, but he had read about it online and maybe looked at some pictures or videos really quick, but then closed them before he would get in trouble with Mom. Sonic tried to think about the videos to know what to do, but it turned out Sonic was quite the sex man. It all came naturally to him anyways. Sonic opened his mouth and chewed on the lunch lady's vagina. Really hard. Like Pac-Man. Nom, 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 nom. Running into the bottom of one of the ghosts non-stop. She was totally quiet when he did this. Actually, that's not a very good sign when he did this, but she was beating on the ground and making huge holes like meteors, and even hit a tree nearby and broke in half because she was so in love with Sonic's abilities. Sonic nibbled on her outer vagina, and it tasted like a birthday cake. His penis even popped up during this, like a meerkat looking for its family on Meerkat Manor. He kept on getting closer into her vagina and making sure to get every part of it on the way down like a window washer on New York City washing windows.
This guy is a master of similes.
But instead, it was, say it with me, her vagina. So it was sexy.
Yeah, that's sexy, right, guys?
I guess. Sonic also kissed and sucked on her vagina, like he was trying to appreciate the secret sauce in the lunch lady's roast beef sandwich. Without even opening the sandwich, Sonic even used his tongue. And oh, Jesus Christ!
Oh my God!
This is the worst.
Sonic even used his tongue and scooped eggs out of her vagina that were made during the female reproductive process. He kept going further into her vagina until he was able to fit his entire head inside.
It was really dark inside her vagina because there weren't any lights, but it was clearly where the sexiest part of her were. It was a spacious, like a empty factory from all the previous fake sex thanking people had done to her. Sonic was able to get them sex spots, all using his mouth and nose and forehead, pleasing her and making her fall in love with him. He was rolling his head around in her vagina like he was doing a hula hoop on his neck. She was so impressed that Sonic thought she would email everyone in Bangladesh to tell them how good Sonic was at sex thanking later. Sonic decided it was time to finish doing this and shouted, "Yeah!" inside her vagina to make vibrations bounce off the walls of her vagina and hitting all of her sex spots at once. The lunch lady was so excited that she pulled the tree stump that she was sitting on out of the ground. She could do this because she was very strong and experienced with carrying trees.
The environment.
Because she's Bangladesh.
Yeah, she's Bangladeshi or Mongolian, we're not really sure.
Who cares?
Sonic took his head out of her vagina and brushed the vagina crumbs off his face and combed his hair.
I'm never having sex.
Laugh.
Isn't that how you normally have sex? Isn't this how you normally have sex? Straight people tell me.
No.
I was gonna say, have you seen a vagina?
Sonic took his head out of her vagina and brushed the vagina crumbs off his face and combed his hair. You're welcome,
laughed Sonic.
Laughed Sonic smoothly to the lunch lady and looked at Knuckles Jr., who was watching with big eyes, but did not say anything. The lunch lady put her clothes on and shook his hand, shake, and said the people of Bangladesh would be very impressed.
Good sex thanking.
Yeah,
wonderful sex thanking when I shoved my head inside your vagina and screamed.
And that if he ever wanted to visit there, just to tell her, and she could buy plane tickets for him and all of his friends.
Oh my god!
The lunch lady was really nice, even if she had weird ideas that she got from being in Asia when
Take that, Asia!
She went back home to get to sleep.
I have to say, if you have ball problems, like severe degenerative ball disease, I guess the best sex thanking you can do is to shove your head inside your lunch lady's vagina and just scream a whole bunch. It doesn't involve your ball problem, at the very least.
So yeah, she went back to her home in Malaysia.
Or
Because who cares
Malaysia, Bangladesh, Mongolia, nobody fucking knows.
Because who cares about remembering which country is which?
Except for the Chinese doctor. Maybe some Chinese doctor knows.
So, guys, if you don't mind, I'm going to finish off.
Go ahead, take it off. Take it all the way off.
We're almost there.
Take it off.
So,
Bring it home. Bring it home. End this.
Sonic and Knuckles Jr. then went inside the open window. He is there. I knew it, said Knuckles Jr., who was pointing at a closet in the room that they were in, which was now inside the house. And it was a bedroom inside. Sonic and Knuckles tiptoed over to the closet and opened it up. And what they saw was surprising and shocking and scary.
Duh.
It was Charmy Bee's body!
Oh, damn, he is dead!
And bloody, and rotting, and cut up into little pieces.
Alright, B, press F. F.
In the F.
Wow! Look! He is completely dead! Who was so shocked that he could not even think about anything else. It was true. This time, it was really Charmy. And he was dead.
Fucking dead, guys.
Oh my god! I am seeing so many shocking things for the first time today, said Knuckles Jr. Sonic went down. So I gotta act this out. Sonic went down and picked up a piece of his body and saw white marks in it. Sonic was about to say something, and then all of a sudden,
This.
happened. Hit that.
Ledger.
It was Heath Ledger. Vector is Heath Ledger.
I'm just gonna do the Joker joke. What are you doing here, idiots? Shouted Vector. How did you get in here? That window, bitch dick, said Sonic, as he felt a sudden rage built up inside of him, like the foam from cream soda, going over the top of the glass. when someone pours it like an idiot ass. What is wrong with you? Why did you do this? Were you the murderer?
It actually says that, by the way.
It actually doesn't.
Let
Never mind.
me
Yeah. Oh well, idiot.
show you how, Sonic, said Vector as he ran at Sonic and Knuckles Jr., chomping his teeth in the style of an alligator.
Hey, thank you all for coming! That was absolutely determined. You are all gay bags. Well done.
Watch how old Charmy is, by the way.
It's okay. You're not gay unless your name is Charmy B.
Who's a fag ass?
He was a gay bag
He was
because
a
he
gay
was in the
bag.
play. The plays are for gay bags. Thank you all for coming. That was hilarious.
Silver Gatoman, he bought me a coffee. Silver Gatoman, here is the song for thee. He likes to video all the panels at the cons. You should go and watch them whether they are short or long. Silver Gatoman, you video that's not a jibe. All of you go to his YouTube channel and like and subscribe.